Hello, I am Reasonable Rex, the T-Rex you can trust. King of the Hill, Season 15, Episode 2, Care of the Dog. So far, this is my favorite episode, which isn't really saying much because it's the second episode of the season I've seen, but hey, maybe it'll hold that spot for a while. The main reason is because both plots, the A and B plot, are pretty significant to the characters and carry quite a bit of weight to them, which to me is much more entertaining than the truck mystery from the first episode. So this episode opens up with Hank at Megalomart, which is a stand-in for Walmart, trying to buy some toothpaste, but it's locked up. Hank tries to leave and finds out, hey, there's an adoption event going on for dogs, and Peggy's found a disfigured looking dog that she really wants to take care of. Now, it interests me, why is Peggy so crazy about getting this dog? Like, Ladybird was Hank's dog, and Peggy hasn't really shown any reason why she would want this. The only thing I can think of is it's something for her to do, something to fill her time with. She talks about how much care this dog needs, and how they'd only be taking it for a couple of weeks, and she'd be like a substitute teacher to it. This, of course, feeds into Peggy's ego and her mentality that she's this great helper who changes people's lives. Hank really does not want this dog. We then cut back to Hank being inside Megalomart buying more stuff because the dog has a huge list of needs. Next, we cut to Bobby driving Connie back to their childhood homes because it's her birthday. And all she really wants is a day to spend with her mother and father, no fighting, dinners like she used to have as a kid. This is going to be the main plot of the episode, with her wanting a simple birthday dinner where she hangs out with her family like she used to have as a kid, while Con and Min keep attacking each other and insulting one another, as well as Bobby. All while Bobby is trying his best to prove that, hey, I am a man, I'm not the kid that you saw grow up, I can take care of your girl, and I am going to be a good choice for her. Please accept me as her boyfriend. Now, something that I want to point out here that's very interesting is Connie's whole drive, like I said for this episode, is she wants a family dinner. This kind of conflicts with the Connie we've been presented so far, where she's like, I don't really like the idea of a marriage because my mother and father kind of fell apart. Aren't we just doing what we're supposed to be doing if we try to get married? But this shows that she craves like the idea of a basic nuclear family, of a husband, a wife, kids, and spending time together. This is something that Bobby had, and in my video on Connie, I talked about how their house was a bit of a safe space for her away from the crazy things she had to put up with her family, where she was allowed to be a kid and not a investment. Anyway, he brings up that, hey, I'm going to be paying for the birthday dinner because I'm a man. He gets to Min's house where she rejects him and is like, hey, you're not staying here, get out of here, be gone. And he accepts this. But we also see that Con is now living across the street with Bill of all people, someone he despises. We never really got an in-depth view of Con on Bill, but we kind of got in the last season when they were doing their fake anniversary party that, hey, actually, he really doesn't like Bill. And now he's stuck with him. We also find out that they have this convoluted plan about how Connie's going to spend her birthday, and it's kind of separating her time between the two, and it really frustrates her. Bobby returns to his childhood home. He meets the new dog they're taking care of, who, I forgot to say his name, it's Caesar Salad. What a silly name. Hank is, of course, showing his discontent for having this dog in his house, and he has to end up taking it outside to the guys, where he has to hold a umbrella so it doesn't get exposed to the sun. It's got booties on, and everyone's making fun of him, and he's disgruntled with the way they're treating him. He feels very embarrassed. We also get to see Con being pretty upset about everything going on with Connie. And, you know, I get that it's played off as a joke and kind of weird that Bill's got like this loving, almost spouse relationship with Con, where he's like, oh, come on, I'll take you home, take a deep breath, we'll get you a bubble bath. But honestly, I like it. Bill is a character I'm tired seeing sad. He's had so many opportunities to improve his life, and the writers have just said, no, let's strike that because then it'll change his character and he won't be funny anymore. There's a lot of ways you could still write Bill as extremely funny and still improve his life. There's a lot of plot points they cover where someone moves into his life and makes him happy for a while, and we see him self-sabotage. So imagine a story where someone moves in, like Con, that really can't move out, who dislikes him greatly, but it improves Bill's life, which is kind of what happens in this episode. And then that person comes to really appreciate how nice of a guy Bill is. I'm hoping this is a plot point that'll carry forward, but we'll see as I continue to watch the episodes. Flash forward, and now Bobby and Connie are having a conversation over the phone where Connie is sort of venting about everything that's going on with her birthday and how this isn't what she wanted, and she just wanted a family orientated birthday. She wanted to have a nice dinner. They have a little bit of a back and forth, and then Connie brings up about how, hey, remember when you used to sneak into my room? And Bobby's like, hey, I don't think I can do that anymore because men would despise me. But that's okay because Connie sneaks over to his room. This is showing how she's very lonely, and interesting enough, this kind of points to me that she uses being intimate and sex as a way to deal with her emotions. She's looking for something to make her feel better. But lots of people have their emotional crutches. It could be food, it could be entertainment, it could be going out, it could be even something like spending money. Hers is being intimate. So I'll be interested to see how this affects their relationship going forward. Then we turn to Hank trying to get in bed. The dog Caesar salad is there, and he's like, Peggy, I gotta talk to you about this dog. And she's like, yeah, I want to keep him too. And he's like, keep him? No, I want to return him. They have a little bit of a back and forth, and she's like, not in front of Caesar salad. And he's like, he can't understand English. And she's like, well, he picks up on vibes. So Hank takes him out, and we start sniffing around. His ears perk up, and he runs over to Bobby's room, and Hank's like, oh, you woke up Bobby, because Caesar starts barking, opens the door to apologize, and bam, there's Bobby and Connie in bed. This, of course, leads to an awkward moment where Hank, then Peggy, then Min, then Con all find Bobby and Connie in bed together. They're all a little bit disgusted by this. There is a nice little moment between Peggy and Connie where she just tries to have a polite conversation with her. In a lot of ways, even though this is a joke, just her trying to make small talk after an embarrassing moment, Peggy in a lot of ways was like a second mom to Connie and took care of her and pushed her to do things she would never get to do with her family. We also see that Hank starts warming up to Caesar because, hey, he was barking because there was an intruder in the house. He was defending the home. And during this exchange between everyone, Connie finally blows up to her mother, and Con's like, I see. Why don't you come hang out with me and Bill? It'll be fun. It'll be mellow. We'll just have a fun time. And, there'll be no arguing. Nothing like that. Connie's like, well, can Bobby come too? And he's like, yeah, sure. We then get a little bit of an insight into Bill's home, and it's cleaned up. There's not food everywhere. There's not trash everywhere. Having Con as a housemate has given him someone to care for. The sad thing about Bill is whenever he has someone to dote on, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. We've seen him take in drug addicts. We've seen him take in all sorts of people. His life improved. Bill is very much a people pleaser, and he needs someone in his life to focus his attention to. That's why his ex-wife destroyed him so much. It was someone he trusted, someone he loved, and someone he was putting all his attention on, cheating on him and leaving him. Also, we see that her initials are on the towels that are handed to Bobby. Connie's looking forward to this relaxing time. We can see that Con is uncomfortable with Bobby being around while he's just trying to be like a normal guy to him, and he doesn't want him anywhere near Connie, especially after catching him in bed with her. So Con and Bobby sleep in the sleeping bags that you pull up around your body next to Connie in the bed so that Bobby can't try anything, which is, of course, hilarious. We move forward, and Hank is doing his best to test how good of a guard dog Caesar is as Dale comes in dressed like a thief, and of course Caesar starts barking and attacking him. We then see on the list of tests that he has one more test to go through, which is Jehovah's Witness, which of course will eventually lead to the best joke in this episode. However, before we get there, Caesar hurts himself biting into Dale while he's flailing around. He ends up losing a tooth. So Hank and Peggy go to rush him to the vet, which is where we get the best joke.
Hey, man, I'm gonna here talk about and see if you done heard dang old good news.
Not now, Boomhauer. We'll finish Caesar's training later.
I'm telling you, King of the Hill is so funny. So many people disregard it as a funny show because it seems like it's so mundane and simple. It's about a small nuclear family living in a small town in Texas, where one guy loves his job and loves his hobbies, and he's trying to raise a kid that doesn't exactly match the way he thinks and how he thinks the world should go. But there is so much humor in this show. Then we move over to Bill's house, where we see that they're having breakfast, where he's made jiggle cakes, and he's very excited to be sharing all this food with them. Connie's put under a lot of pressure by Con, who's like, oh, we gotta go out and get your birthday cake. We gotta get party supplies. Like, there's no time to hang out. You don't get to chill. Oh, I gotta prove to your mom that I'm the better parent, that I'm gonna go throw the best party and I'm better and she's missing out and you love me more, which is, of course, the exact opposite of what Connie wants. Bobby decides to go out with Con and, use this time to try and impress upon him that, hey, I'm a good fit for your daughter. Bobby and Con have a conversation in the car where Bobby tries to impress him as like, hey, I am your daughter's boyfriend. We are the two most important men in her life. We should hang out and get to know each other. And he offers him lunch. He offers him to play golf, which just has Con breaking down over how much he despises Bobby. This is very interesting to me because Bobby is a successful business owner. Now, mind you, he doesn't 100% own the business, and the other part is owned by the family that Con really wanted his daughter to be part of. In a weird way, originally it seemed like, hey, I want you to be part of the Wasana-san family so that we get access to all the perks. And now in this newer seasons, it's like, hey, you should be with him because he's so successful. Like, you'll never want for anything, and it looks good on us. So I don't think that, he's wanting her to date Chang because, hey, we're going to get to go to 9 Rivers, anything like that. But it's like a boon to all of us if you do, while he doesn't see any good coming out of dating Bobby. I really hope that Bobby in this season gets to impress upon them how much of a man he is. Sure, he's goofy. Sure, he's silly. He's playful. But he's got a good heart. He cares about Connie. He cares about what's best for her. And is willing to deal with the BS these two are throwing at him to try and give her a good birthday. We then cut to Caesar's visit to the vet, and we learn that he's not 2 years old like the rescue people said he is. He's actually 10. He's a much older dog, and who knows how many years he has left. This depresses Hank. He was really starting to get attached to Caesar, and now he's afraid to get attached to something that may not be around for that long. After all, we saw how big a part of his life Ladybird was, and who knows how many years it's been since she passed. That definitely tore a hole in Hank's heart. In a lot of ways, there were times during the original run of the show that he probably put Ladybird on a higher pedestal than his own son. Of course, not in a abusive way, but just because he was like, man, this dog is so good, she's the perfect dog. Man, my son, he's playing with troll dolls and trying to strum a guitar with cheese. We then cut to a cake shop where Con is trying to get a cake for Connie's birthday, and he asks for 100 roses, which is like way too many roses to put on a birthday cake, and he gets aggressive and angry, and Bobby has to step in and help him. Here, Bobby mentions that, hey, I got her a necklace with her birthstone in it, and I'm so glad that I didn't have to get her a diamond, and Con's like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll get her a diamond to make her mother seem cheap. And Bobby steps up and is like, listen, you don't need to do this stuff to impress Connie. All she wants is a family dinner like she used to have with you and Min and her, and just enjoy being a family. Moving forward, we get to the Hill House where Hank is very sullen over everything he found out about Caesar, but then Caesar comes up with an old toy. This is Lady Bird's old toy, and it leads to probably the most touching part of this entire episode. Hank takes Caesar to a pet cemetery where he visits Lady Bird's grave. I did not expect this. This is a very emotional moment, like messing me up even now. Caesar gets to run off and play while he has a one-to-one with his old dog, where he explains that, Caesar isn't replacing her, and how he misses her, and how he just found out that Caesar's pretty old and may not have many years left, but he thinks Caesar's a good dog and is going to take care of the house. He does also end off on a joke about her not coming back, which is a reference to Pet Cemetery, where anything you bury in the cemetery comes back, but it comes back evil. And now we move on to Connie's birthday dinner, where we see Con and Min are both there. And Min makes a joke about, oh, your father begged me to come, and he gets ready to defend himself and argue. But he looks at Bobby, who gives him a little head shake, and he's like, yes, I did do those things. They make jokes at Bobby's expense, saying, we ordered the whole menu because you're paying for it. They then start giving their gifts to her, which is a necklace with her birthstone, which is, of course, Bobby's gift. So they're like, what did you get, Bobby? And he gets up and starts singing this parody song and performing and using a little bit of his restaurant experience to flip a shrimp in his mouth. And I love this moment. I'm sure many people seeing this were upset, being like, hey, that was Bobby's gift. Why you gotta be so mean to him? He's worked so hard to give your daughter the best birthday and you backstab him this way. But this just proves what Connie loves about Bobby. He's silly, he's fun, he does whatever comes to his mind to make her happy, and she enjoys it. And then she reveals she knew that the necklace was his idea because he left his laptop open and she saw his search history. You gotta be careful with that, dude. Maybe don't look up anything too crazy. Con then makes a joke about getting a lobster even though he doesn't like it just because Bobby's paying for it. And it seems like they're gonna have a great family dinner because Con and Min are happy, even though it's at the expense of Bobby. Connie is clearly very happy. She has her family, she has her boyfriend all in one setting, and the vibes are good. So, successful birthday. And that was episode 2 of King of the Hill season 15. The story about Caesar, I was kind of off put about it because, yeah, Caesar does look a little weird and is a little bit of a scrungly dog. But seeing Hank slowly come to care about them and then the moment with Ladybird, that just hit me right in the feels. Again, Connie and Bobby's romance continues to be so well written. We get to see Bobby not make himself the hero of her birthday, while doing everything he can to give her the birthday she wants. He's very selfless, and he ends up doing exactly that, giving her a great birthday. We see how strong of a relationship is starting to form. So I continuously look forward to this kiss, and I'm wondering, why does that happen? That clearly had to be trailer bait, right? Don't tell me they're gonna ruin this thing badly just for drama or just to keep the show going. But until then, this is a great written romance. I love how they work together. I love their energy. And I cannot wait to see more. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with these two characters. I can't wait to see if Caesar's going to be around the house more. But what do you think? Do you think Caesar is a good dog? Or is he a bit too weird to live in the Hill House? Did you also get emotionally upset whenever we visited Lady Bird's grave? And do you like Connie and Bobby as a couple? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, bye!